Hi, welcome to Surviving Motherhood. Okay, I am both thrilled and saddened to be getting to the point where we're getting right now. Verse 19 out of 20 of Psalm 66. I have thoroughly enjoyed spending time slowly and deliberately going through this psalm and allowing the Lord just to speak to me. I pray that you have been blessed too for whatever amount of time you've been able to put into this. I pray that God has been speaking to your heart as well. I pray He will continue to speak. And so we get to verse 19 this week. Let's do this. Shout with joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of His name. Make His praise glorious. Say to God, how awesome are your deeds. So great is your power that your enemies cringe before you. All the earth bows down to you. They sing praise to you. They sing praise to your name. Come and see what God has done, how awesome His works in man's behalf. He turned the sea into dry land. They passed through the waters on foot. Come, let us rejoice in Him. He rules forever by His power. His eyes watch the nations. Let not the rebellious rise up against Him. Praise our God, O peoples. Let the sound of His praise be heard. He has preserved our lives and kept our feet from slipping. For you, O God, tested us. You refined us like silver. You brought us into prison and laid burdens on our backs. You let men ride over our heads. We went through fire and water, but you brought us to a place of abundance. I will come to your temple with burnt offerings and fulfill my vows to you. Vows my lips promised and my mouth spoke when I was in trouble. I will sacrifice fat animals to you in an offering of rams. I will offer bulls and goats. Come and listen, all you who fear God. Let me tell you what He has done for me. I cried out to Him with my mouth. His praise was on my tongue. If I had cherished sin in my heart, the Lord would not have listened. Here's verse 19. But God has surely listened and heard my voice in prayer. But God has surely listened and heard my voice in prayer. And it's rather interesting to me. My initial interest in this verse this week was looking at what the meaning of that word listened was and heard, and that is really interesting, and I would encourage you to do a word study on it yourself if you would like to. But as I've gone on in this week, what has really been the thing that has drawn me in this verse is one, but God, because I love that phrase, because things can be going on in our world and it looks like everything is hopeless and it looks like we're at our end, and then, but God steps in and He does what only He does, and everything changes. So that's one thing. But the other thing is that word surely. But God has surely listened and heard my voice in prayer. And it's just speaking to me of God's faithfulness. But God, whatever our situation is, but God, He can step in, and surely we can have confidence, whatever it is. And I'm going back to the previous verse. If I had cherished sin in my heart, the Lord would not have listened. Okay, so we have a part in this. We need to confess, and I hope that you had a chance to do the study that I posted on Thursday about confession. That's a good thing. If you didn't have a chance, go back and look at it, because we do have a rule. If I had cherished sin in my heart, the Lord would not have listened. We need to confess. We need to come right with Him and agree with Him and be in fellowship with Him. And when we do that, we have this assurance. But God has surely listened and heard my voice in prayer. So I don't know who's needing to hear that word this week. I don't know who is struggling in the pit of despair right now, and you need to be reminded that God is faithful, that you can have confidence in Him, but God has surely listened. He has and He will. And I pray that you will be encouraged to trust Him more this week than you ever have before. You go now. Have a wonderful, Jesus-full